What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Live Fam. Now today, bro, we got 1,000 Flies versus Venus Flytrap by the boy Tara Green, bro. Shout out Tara Green. Make sure you guys go subscribe, bro. Peak content, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna be seeing if 1,000 flies can survive a Venus Flytrap. Obviously, if you guys didn't watch the carnivorous plants video and you just don't know what a Venus Flytrap is, it's just those plants that, you know, literally open and close their mouth and they trap things in there. We learned about it in the last Tara Green video we watched and also in the Dumb Doggo channel we watched. So with that being said, we're gonna see how tough of a battle this is. And without further ado, make sure to grab your popcorn and let's see.
This is 50 Venus flytrap plants. And in this video, I'm gonna put 1,000 flies in the same container as them. Will the sheer number of flies trick the traps, causing them to close? Or are the flies just simply cooked?
I mean, flies, I feel like they're kind of dumb, right? Like, I feel like they're gonna fly right into the trap, especially because of smell. Because you know how they just go through like any trash or whatever, just any smell they get. So you know how those Venus flytraps, they have like that stuff that they produce to, you know, bait people towards them, the insects towards them so they can eat them. I'm like, all the flies just gonna go there, bro. And then, matter of fact, I think I'm predicting like a couple hours, they all done.
That's why I bought this. This is 1,000 fly larvae. Yeah, might look extremely nasty, but over the next week, as long as I feed them food, they should all turn into flies so I can do this test.
So I hate flies. Oh my gosh. I mean, I hate mosquitoes more than any other insect because they're literally the most pointless. But flies too, bro. They're right there because, dude, they're just annoying as shit. They're dirty as hell. Like these larvae that he's showing right now. Like sometimes I have that in the trash can because you know how something like breaks out of the bag and it leaks into the trash can. So, you know, the flies start having freaking babies in there and shit. It's so nasty, bro.
Wait for these guys to turn into flies. Obviously, I have all of these Venus flytraps, but I also have tons of other carnivorous plants that you may have never even seen before.
What the heck?
I'm gonna be able to do tons of different tests in this video. It's gonna be super cool.
And for
thanks to Dumb Doggo, we know these.
Test number 1, I want to show you guys the smallest of Venus flytraps.
Now, you know it may sound stupid, but I promise you how they work and catch insects is actually really insane.
Gosh.
Let me show you how they work.
And yeah, it's not a joke how small these things are, because when compared to normal Venus flytraps, the jaws are about 10 times smaller. And in fact,
yeah,
they're
they look hella
cute,
small,
to be honest.
But since these are minuscule,
they're so cute until you stick your finger in there and all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying?
The normal prey I feed in my videos is not gonna cut it. Yeah, sorry, Cricket, you get to live another day. That's why instead...
Bro said, sorry, you get to live another day. As if he wants to, oh man, damn it. I didn't get to die today. Fuck.
I got literally the smallest thing available.
These are flightless fruit flies, which if you've seen my channel before,
the smallest thing available.
These are flightless fruit flies, which if you've seen my channel before, you know they're pretty much the most useless animal. Cause seriously, bro,
they have wings on it and they're flightless. Nigga, what?
How are you a fly that doesn't have the ability to fly? That doesn't make any sense. But anyways, I put the smallest Venus flytraps in the testing enclosure. Then I put one of these flies inside to see if he'd get caught. Start the timer. Now this fly didn't waste any time because it immediately walked straight up to one of the Venus flytrap pots and then started to walk all over the tops of the jaws. Absolutely risking his life. You may already know this, but normal Venus flytraps work by having these super tiny trigger hairs inside of them that when a bug or something touches them, it snaps shut. But these traps are obviously the smallest in the world. Because of that, they have extremely small trigger hairs. And I'm talking so small that if I zoom in like 100x on this footage, they're so thin, my camera can't even pick them up. And I guess the trigger hairs were quite literally so thin that every time this flightless fruit fly walked inside the jaw of a trap, the jaw didn't close at all. And the fly was able to...
Yeah, I mean, those trigger hairs are kind of pointless, bro. Ain't shit triggering.
Just walk out. I mean, it kind of makes sense. These flightless fruit flies weigh about 0.0003 grams. So yeah, I guess the traps quite literally can't even be triggered by how light their weight is.
Wow.
Yeah, clearly the fruit flies aren't gonna work. So instead, I got the world's smallest cricket instead to test. Let's see if this works any better.
Yay! More crickets get to die. Let's go.
Boy, let me just tell you, things were a lot more interesting this time around. Because once again, the cricket walked straight up to one of the trap pots and started climbing all over the tops once again. But this time, quite literally within 30 seconds, the cricket happened to put his face up to the lip of one of the Venus flytraps. You may also already know this, but these plants produce a special kind of nectar around the lips of their jaws to lure insects in like this cricket. And you can see it was working pretty well because
that's why they're all going towards them, because they're smelling that liquid, you know what I'm saying? Or else they wouldn't go towards it.
Cricket was just absolutely slurping this nectar up. And he was getting a bit too distracted because he then stepped into the trap, probably stepping on the mic.
Oh, damn, you might as well just say, please eat me. Like, that's what you doing at this point. You went, like, at least you were at the corner of it. You could just sip on it. Nah, you going deep in there, boy. You head deep.
Trigger hairs, which then caused the jaws of it to close. But the cricket was too fast, and he was barely able to make it out with
that slow ass jaw, bro. You gotta chomp that. You gotta chomp that shit, man.
Life. Dang, that was a close call, but you can see how quickly that can all happen. And yeah, don't worry, guys, because there's only a few minutes later when the cricket did the same exact thing. He walked up to another jaw, walked straight into it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this time the trap closed on him while he was starting to walk out, leaving half of his body now sticking out of the trap.
Bro, he probably thought this was just a play thing. Look, he's over here trying to grab this food right here, just chilling.
On him while he was starting to walk.
Look, he grabbing this food
out, leaving half of his body now sticking out.
And then right here, this is the moment he fucked up. He knew
of the trap. Even though these are the smallest Venus flytraps in the world, they trap insects nearly just as well as the fully grown ones.
Oh yeah,
pretty interesting. And yeah, while I wait for those 1,000 flies,
I mean, they both had the same, process. Like, if they get in their trigger hairs, they get in the right spot, they clamping them. That's just it. If they get stuck, like, they're cooked. You know what I'm saying? Because then after they start producing that, thing to break down enzymes or whatever, you guys know what I'm talking about. But that's how they get to eat them. Like I said in the last video where we watched the carnivores, plants. Like, bro, plants literally have the easiest job, bro. They just sit there, wait for things to come to it, and then they eat it.
Actually, we can do the final test. In the meantime, I want to show you some other insane carnivorous plants that you may have never seen before, with the second one being sundews.
Yep, everyone knows what Venus flytraps are, but not everyone knows what a sundew is, but they're actually pretty cool. Let me show you what they do.
So obviously, like flytraps, sundews are also a carnivorous plant, except instead of having jaws, it has these long stems with these little red hairs on the top of them. But on each of these little red hairs is a special kind of sticky glue it produces that will make it so when a fly or any other insect touches it, it gets permanently stuck because of how sticky it is.
And
yeah, you saw how the finger got a little stuck right now? I mean, obviously he's, probably just demonstrating.
Little red hairs on the top that will make it so on each of these little red hairs is a special kind of sticky.
You see how, like, there is a little resistance when he lifts his finger? Like, the fact that there's any type of resistance, so imagine like a little insect, a little fly or something, they getting stuck there, bro.
Glue it produces that will make it so when a fly or any other insect touches it, it gets permanently stuck because of how sticky it is.
And when an insect gets stuck on here, the trap does something insane to be able to consume the insect, which I'll show you very soon when it obviously
wrap that bitch up like a
So yeah, I got multiple of these sundew plants, and I even got this slightly different kind of sundew called an octopus plant. That will be cool to see if this can catch any insects as well. So let's get these in the testing chamber.
And for this, I think I'll be using a cricket once again, because they're literally perfect. They can just climb up the side of the stem.
Yeah, they're perfect to die in using these experiments. Good job, crickets.
And yeah, just get stuck. This should be fun to watch. Let's put this dude inside.
So yeah, once again, I just started with one of these guys, but if this guy gets caught fast, I'll be adding way more inside of here. Anyways, this cricket for the first minute kind of just wandered around the walls of the enclosure, but it wasn't long until he started heading towards the sundews. Now you see, the sticky glue that this plant produces is actually a type of nectar, which smells and tastes great to the insects. So yeah, just like how Venus flytraps,
I feel like that's how all of them catch the insects, bro. I feel like if they just had to do it and it wasn't like it didn't smell or seem appetizing, then they wouldn't catch anything, So that's like the positive to them having that slimy shit. They're just like, come eat me, baby. I smell so good and I taste even better. And then they come in and like, yeah. Meet that butt.
Lure insects in with their nectar. These traps do the same thing, because this cricket then decided to start climbing up the stem. The only thing is, though, that he ended up stopping right before the sticky part, and that's actually because of his antenna.
Yeah, his antennas got stuck.
Long antennas that help them navigate and detect danger before running into it, and this guy's antenna actually ended up getting stuck in the sticky nectar part. But using its
chat, is it me or these antennas for the cricket is what makes it look scary? I feel like without the antennas, it wouldn't look as scary. Is that just me? Like, that's weird to me. I feel like the antennas make it look scary because I don't know, it's just the look of it, like a fucking alien.
Mouth, it was able to pull the antenna back and then started to lick all the nectar off of it. Yeah, and I'm not kidding. This cricket really just sat here for like 30 minutes, constantly licking his antenna, then putting it back into the sticky nectar, and then licking it back up.
I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of a limited food glitch, bro. Nothing happening to him. He's not in danger. You get to just lick his antennas. You know what I'm saying?
It was kind of outsmart.
It's like getting a whole bunch of the Cheeto dust on your hands, just unlimited. You know what I'm saying? Or the hot Cheetos. That's just better. Like regular Cheetos, the cheese is overrated, bro. But like the hot or like Takis, oh yeah, that finger looking good.
This carnivorous plant and just getting its nectar for free. So I'm not gonna lie, I just tried to push him towards it with my tweezers since he clearly wasn't gonna do it on his own. And yeah, he just kind of ended up falling off.
Yo, what the heck? I was just trying to record that cricket and I just realized there's a jumping spider in here. Do you see that?
What the fuck you mean you just realized? That just came out of nowhere? See, that's the thing about Terra Green, bro. He be doing so much insect, animal shit. Like, some of them gonna escape and just be in his house the whole time. Like, come on, dude.
The little octopus plant, is it stuck?
Yeah, this jumping spider just happened to wander into this enclosure by accident. I guess he was just living
by
somewhere
accident
in my house. But since he was here, I figured I'd just watch him to see if he would get caught by the traps.
Bro, you're just saying that as if there's not a whole jumping spider in your house, bro. Yo, I would be freaking out, dude. You know what I'm saying? I'll be the one jumping, not the spider.
Living somewhere in my house. But since he was here, I figured I'd just watch him to see if he would get caught by the traps. And pretty quickly, he started to climb the stems of the trap and got up to the sticky part. But yeah, he was kind of too smart for this trap too, and turned around the second he realized it.
What? Oh, the spider's smart, bro. He knew. He was like, whoa, this should feel a little weird, bro. Let me go back.
It was sticky. But it was pretty cool to watch this guy just jump around the plants. However, he never really ended up getting trapped, and he ended up just climbing out of the enclosure.
Is he just letting it go?
Really ended up getting trapped, and he ended up just climbing out of the enclosure.
All right, guys, I'm not gonna lie. This cricket, I've been trying to record him getting eaten for like 2 hours now. And every time right before going on the sticky part, he just stops and cleans his antenna. And yeah, he just turns around and never actually goes on the sticky part. He's too smart for this. So yeah, let me take this guy out.
Instead, I actually just got out the flightless fruit flies again, because apparently this is actually Sundew's favorite insect. And yeah, I just dumped a few on the sand, and it wasn't long until...
I mean, it makes sense why they're the favorite. They're the most restarted and, you know, useless ad insects, bro. They're easy to eat.
Some of them started to climb all over the stems and eventually started getting stuck all over the different sticky parts. I even went and just dumped a crazy amount of these flies all over the top of the Sundew plants to show you guys exactly how cool Sundews really are. Because obviously, now you can see the sticky parts of the plants are just completely covered in flightless fruit flies. Now, if you're wondering how this plant actually eats the flies, well, this footage shows how. As you can see, it uses each of its red hairs to basically curl around the prey. And once all of those curl around it, the stem itself also starts to curl around the prey. This will basically ensure the fly has a 0% chance of escaping, while the plant releases basically an acid to consume it. Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
So yeah,
that's what it is. Every time the plants just release like a certain acid and stuff to break them down. So right now it's just crushing it, breaking down with the acid, or just gonna soak up all the nutrients that they need from the insects.
Pretty cool to see these things work. All these flies are just gonna turn into food for these plants very soon.
All right, there's still one more major carnivorous plant type that I haven't shown yet. They're called pitcher plants.
Yeah, we learned about those.
This plant can also eat insects. And actually how it does it is probably the most brutal out of all of them. Let me show you.
Yeah, I remember this one,
these are called pitcher plants. And similar to the last plant, they have pretty long stems that go up. But the difference is this time at the top, there's this little trapdoor leaf thing that if you look is actually covering a hole that leads directly down to a pit of acid at the bottom of the stem. Yep, these traps have this.
This is probably like one of the scariest ones. I probably said that in the other video too. It's probably the scariest way as an insect to get trapped, bro. You think this is just a regular plant, you go up here, all of a sudden, oh, you slip down the fucking eternal depths of hell.
Hole here that's lined with a super slippery nectar on the inside. So whenever an insect walks inside, they'll slip into the acid at the bottom, and yeah.
And what's really cool is if you actually look inside of this pitcher plant, since it's kind of small and shallow, you can actually see the pool of acid at the bottom. And it actually looks like there's a couple little flies and stuff in there, which it looks like it's actually already dissolving. So yeah, it'd be cool to see some crickets or something following these. Let's test it out.
Bro, it's like imagine seeing, you know, the inside of a human digestive system, like how we had that stomach acid. That's pretty much like what we're seeing in this plant right now, bro. Are we violating this plant by looking in there?
Need to use an enclosure this time because I knew this was going to be an extremely fast test. Because immediately after placing the cricket on this first pitcher plant, it started to climb along the sides of the red pitcher. As you can see, the inside of the plant is lined with these downward pointing hairs. This is to make it even more slippery and hard to escape.
Wow.
And yeah, it's kind of funny to see how fast this all happens, but the next...
Yeah, so if you go on this top thing, you know what I'm saying, slip a little bit, you slip it all the way down. Ain't no climbing back, boy.
Time the cricket went to the opening of this plant, it straight up just slipped in right away. Nah, this dude had no clue this plant has evolved over.
Yo, that's insane. Bro just was like, fuck it, I might as well do it for the video. This guy keeps complaining about me. Shit, let me just go so we don't start yelling at me again.
Millions of years to just be able to eat them this fast.
Wow.
Yeah, and as you can see on this footage that I recorded on my phone, he was now just sitting at the bottom of this pool.
Bro's like, you just gonna stare at me, nigga? Help me! Help me!
Of acid. Over the next few days, it'll dissolve him and turn him into nutrients for this plant to grow even stronger and larger. Nice.
That's what I'm saying. Like, these plants have the easiest job, bro. They don't move, they don't hunt, they don't do nothing. They just sit there and it's like, up. My next meal just dropped inside me. That feels good. Oh, it tingles. Like, bro, come on, dude.
Yeah, that's really all there is to these pitcher plants. They're not really the most interesting thing ever. But I actually have some great news, guys, because if you look in this container, you can see many of my flies are starting to hatch.
Why do these flies look fucking mutated, though, bro? Why are they so big?
Container, you can see many of my flies
what the? Is it me or they look huge?
Are starting to hatch.
And that means we can finally start doing some massive scale Venus flytrap tests and eventually test as many flies as I can against all of my Venus flytraps to see who wins. Let's start very simple though with 5 Venus flytraps versus a single fly. And let's see if this fly can get trapped in under a minute. Now I know you may be thinking, bruh, Terra Green, I don't care about one fly, this is boring. Well, don't worry, because this literally only lasted like 20 seconds. Because immediately this fly started to crawl up the side of a pot, and of course he made his way immediately into a jaw, triggered one of the hairs.
Bro, it's like they literally go in the perfect position for the fucking plant to just get it, bro. Like no angles, nothing. Just, all right, go ahead, take my ass.
And it closed directly onto him. Yup, flies are basically the one thing Venus flytraps are the best at catching. I mean, they're called Venus flytraps for a reason.
Literally called
Anyways,
flytraps.
I got the tank where the final test will be taking place right here, obviously. And oh, on top, there is a box that I want to show you. There is something really cool in this box. It's these 2 little drawstring bags.
As you can see, they say Terra Pals on them. And that's because Terra Pals is what I'm calling my brand new line of plushies. And in this first limited...
Nah, this is smart, bro. Selling plushies, like the animals and insects that you do,
edition drop, we released a super cool jumbo snake and a super cute little axolotl.
And when you buy this, you don't only get the plushie from inside, but you also get this super cool golden trading card pack that obviously you can open.
I ain't gonna lie, Terra Green, that looked like a pack of something else. I ain't gonna lie to you, but
as you can see here, I got the axolotl card, and this one's actually one of 25. Yep, I've signed 25 of the axolotl and snake cards, meaning some of you will get some signed cards that I'll never be signing again.
But either way, if you get a signed card or not, I know you guys are gonna enjoy these new plushies. Anyways, let's get back to the
Yo, Terra Green, make sure you guys go to the store, bro. If you guys are fan and stuff, yeah, shit, I might even buy something from here. I like that snake, bro. I just have it around me the whole time.
I trap test, and I didn't waste any time. I just got out the flies that I've been hatching, and I put them straight into this enclosure so we could get this final test started. Quickly, I removed the lid and started the timer. Let the test begin. Now, immediately, a couple of the flies started to fly out of the container, and others started to walk out of the sides. Now, there was something weird, though, because while the container had a decent amount of movement in it, only like 10 of the flies were actually leaving the container.
Yeah, I wonder if like a lot of them are just scared, or are they just, you know, content with just being in the space since they were in there for a little time. I don't know.
4-hour time lapse.
4 hours?
Basically, all the flies were staying in there. So I decided to just take the paper towel out that they were all
I thought flies have like a super short lifespan too, bro. Or am I thinking about another insect? I could have sworn it was only like for a day or something.
And tried to just shake off as many as I could onto the Venus flytraps. And obviously, this meant that a few of the flies were now scattered all over the traps and were actually starting to get trapped. But most of them were just being super inactive, barely moving, and not flying. I guess because they were just newly hatched flies, and it takes a while for them to become normal.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. This is kind of a
thing. Like a baby learning how to walk, and flies learning how to fly. Like, come on, bro. You should just come out flying, dude.
Basically, none of the flies are flying around, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish this.
But don't worry, because my YouTube friend Flytrap Films recorded a test with an insane amount of flies, super similar to this. And he wanted me to show you it. And you can see he has a Venus flytrap plant out, and also a bunch.
See, these look like regular flies, but I mean, they also look big. I think it's just the camera, bro. Like, if you're, you know, obviously up close to a fly, then they can look really big. I feel like the flies I see, they're just fucking, they're tiny, annoying, fast as shit.
Of rotten meat in order to attract the flies. Yeah, and it worked really well because instantly tons of flies started to gather around this plant. And you guessed it, started to get trapped. I mean, when you have
bro got a quadruple kill in this one.
This many flies, it's a given that tons are just gonna get trapped right away. And what's so crazy is that sometimes so many would gather on some of the jaws before they close, causing up to 6 flies to get trapped in the same jaw at the same.
Yo, imagine how they feel right now. Oh my god, fuck.
Time. What Flytrap Films himself said that this is the most flies he's ever seen get caught at once. Also, some bonus footage for you guys. Hey, you remember those pitcher plants from earlier? Flytrap Films also did the same test with a massive pitcher plant to show you guys how effective these—
oh my god, these plants are big. They could probably carry all 1,000 of these motherfuckers in there, bro. I wonder what the capacity is, like, for the acid before it just gets too built up and like the acid's not enough to, you know, get everything.
Flying insects, and this plant literally just looks like a vacuum cleaner sucking up all the flies, which in a way it kind of is, because every time a flying insect flaps its wings above the opening in this plant, it creates a weird kind of vacuum effect with the wind, causing the bug to actually get pulled down.
Yo, oh my gosh, they're literally built perfectly to trap any flying thing in there, bro. That's insane. Like, they, you know, they just naturally flapping their wings and shit, and then they don't know, but it's actually hurting them the more they flapping
into it. And yep, after not too much time, this thing just caught so many flies. And it was literally just starting to overflow. That is probably the craziest performance from a carnivorous plant that I have ever seen. Thank you, Fly.
And all they do is just sit there. Just, you know, all the food in the world, and they just sit there.
Flytrap Films for letting me show you this footage. Make sure to check out more of his videos, guys, if you want to see more like this. This content is so cool.
Anyways, hopefully you guys learned something new about carnivorous plants in this video. And remember, guys, check out the brand new Terra Green limited plushies that just dropped. Remember, I only signed 25 of each of the limited edition trading cards, so make sure to get these soon if you want to get those. All this is available on TerraGreenStore.com. Seriously, guys, thank you for watching the videos. It means a lot, and have a good day. Goodbye.
You too, bro. No, Terra Green, make sure you guys subscribe to him and the fly guy as well that he showed in the video, because, you know, he provided that really good footage of the flies, you know, in the trap. And also, bro, that pitcher plant at the end, that was crazy, bro. Like, that was so efficient. But yeah, chat, I mean, you know, plants, they just outside, you know, you just see them in the forest, in the wild, whatever, and they just chilling, bro. But they getting more food than us, bro. Literally, bro. I gotta order DoorDash sometime. No, they got instant DoorDash to themselves. You know, no fees, no nothing. Nah, but yeah, chat, love you guys, bro. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.